Today, affirming, feeling, and claiming your wish fulfilled, here's how. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Another powerful video coming to you from Cape Town, South Africa. Today I want to talk about, this really follows on the heels of yesterday's video, where we talked about the conviction. The feeling of fulfillment, or the feeling of wish fulfilled, is a conviction. It's that conviction that I am that person that I want to be. I already have that which I want. And we talked, and then one of you even commented and put up a quote by Neville Goddard, which I've used on previous videos, which I've talked about, and I brought that forth in a comment earlier today. I want to bring that forth more to really hit this, that this is what Neville says: when I speak of feeling, I do not mean emotion, but acceptance of the fact that the desire is fulfilled. In other words, the acceptance, the conviction that it's already there. Emotion, remember, there's only one emotion, and that's source energy. That's love. That's the energy in motion. It's source energy. It's the conviction of I am. Everything else, those other feelings and those other emotions you feel, are put through a filter, a thought filter, an assumption filter of reality. They're not reality. Love is the only thing that's real. Love is the only emotion. Love is the only reality. But then we put that only reality through a thought filter or an assumption of what we believe reality is, and that's what we experience. And we could experience that in positive feelings or negative feelings, but they're all just an experience of reality. They're not reality. Love is the only reality. Remember, it's a conviction of I am that, a state of being. In this state of being, in this conviction that you already are everything you want to be, it's not earned or something to be gotten. It's your birthright. Like Peter said when Jesus was asking his disciples, who do you say I am? And they went off in that tangent, talked about Jeremiah and John the Baptist, right? And one of the prophets. Jesus says, but who do you say I am? And then Peter finally answers, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. That's you. That's the answer, really. That's not earned. That's not something to be gotten, something to be manifested, something to be attracted into your life. That's who you are. It's your birthright. And remember, it's God-given. It's divine authority. It's your inner authority. Your inner authority is divine authority, right? So the message, and some of you said, well, does that mean that I can just dump processes or not affirm anymore or not imagine or not script? It's never about that. It's not about the process. It's not the techniques. It's not about dumping the techniques or the processes ever. And we're not saying don't affirm or don't do processes. That's never the message. The message is so much bigger than that. The messages are that you are the techniques. You are the process. You are the life, the love, the way, right? The light. That's what the message is, right? Do the processes, any processes that resonate with you, any affirmations that resonate with you, from that conviction, from that knowing that you are Christ, the Son of the living God, that you don't have to earn it. It's nothing to be gotten, nothing to be attracted. It's your birthright. And remember in the story of Esau and Jacob and Isaac and Rebekah that Neville Goddard talks about, and that I talked about and unpacked in several videos, and I left links below. There's about 4 videos where I really unpack that idea, and I'm leaving those in the links below so you can see those. And remember in that story that 2 sons are born, right? The older son, Esau, that represents the physical world, your first birth, your birth as man, right? Your physical birth into this, the 3D you. And then Jacob is that your higher self, your I am, your true nature. And it was said that Isaac favored Esau and Rebekah favored Jacob. But what does that really mean? It means that remember, Isaac, the father, was said to be blind. That's spiritual blindness. And remember, you play all the characters. You play them all. You're Isaac, you're Rebekah, you're Jacob, and you're Esau, right? And so remember that Isaac was spiritually blind. That's why he favored Esau, the older son, the one that represents the hairy son, that represent materiality, the physical world, right? The things that we want to, the things that we want to change or move around in physical world, right? And Rebecca, right, representing that higher ideal, favor the higher ideal, the higher nature. And so remember what Neville said. We're going to get into the story a little bit, but from a different perspective. And I'm including links to 4 videos where I unpack it the Neville Goddard way. I unpack the story the way Neville Goddard talks about it. And I go to in great detail. He talks about it as you die to the old you, right? To the physical you, to the old man. And you rise up into that state of Jacob, right? The state of your natural self. So you're imagining your wish fulfilled, right? You're turning your back from Esau in the physical world. Remember, they sent Esau out hunting. And then Rebecca got together with Jacob to trick Isaac into giving the blessing to Jacob. That's you going within, imagining your wish fulfilled, and then rising in consciousness to be conscious of already being that person you want to be, and then that manifesting in physical reality. That's unpacked in 4 videos. Neville unpacks it, but I want to talk about it in a different way today. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you do not see it. I've mentioned this quote several times from Neville Goddard. But what does it really mean? It means you desire to be more, to have more, to experience more, but you refuse to believe that you're already that more. In other words, you're refusing to believe that that's your birthright. That's your right by your right of birth, by your right of being, by you being a Christ, the Son of the living God, right? Like Esau, right? Like Esau, though, you turn from it, right? And even when you do processes or affirming, if you're scripting from a sense of lack, if you're scripting and imagining and affirming from a sense of not already being that person you want to be and feeling that the processes will get you there, that the processes will bring you what you want, then all of that, you're like Esau, you despise and sell your birthright. Every time you focus on the 3D world conditions to be who you desire to be or have what you desire to have, both inner and outer, as you struggle with temporary thoughts and feelings or as you struggle with trying to manipulate outer conditions, you're like Esau, you're despising and selling your birthright, right? And so remember in that before they talked about the blessing, before Isaac giving the blessing, being tricked, right, by Jacob and Rebekah into giving the blessing to Jacob. Jacob, if you remember, put fur on his skin, so he was disguising himself as Esau after they sent Esau hunting. Right? This is you going in your imagination. But remember that in both these cases, Esau despised his birthright. Every time you focus on 3D world conditions to be who you desire to be or have what you desire to have, those temporary thoughts and feelings or outer conditions, then you are despising that higher power that is your birthright. It's your birthright, right? The blessing is your claiming of that birthright. Do you hear the difference? The birthright is yours. You are I am. You are a son of God. But whether you claim it, whether you announce it, whether you move that to that conviction is up to you. That's the difference, and I want to unpack this difference today. The 3D physical you refuses to believe it. You fight, you struggle, you strive with physical reality. Or you struggle to feel better thoughts. Or you struggle to do affirmations or imagining your wish fulfilled. From a state of lack, from a state of not really recognizing that birthright. You want the blessing. You want the blessing of rising in your imagination and becoming that person you want to be or having that, but you're not recognizing that conviction. Remember in Genesis 25:23, 2 people nations, one shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Right? Esau, the physical 3D you, serves that higher nature, that I am. Right? Jacob is your higher self, your true nature or name or I am. Esau is the physical 3D you, the small me. So here's the big question, and we're going to get into this a little bit more. The big question is your imagining, your affirming, your scripting and claiming coming from the awareness and love of your birthright, right? Your God-given birthright as I am, as the Son, as Christ, the Son of the living God, right? Or like Esau, are you despising it or selling it right, to meet your temporary 3D needs. If you remember early in the story, Esau is hungry. The 3D small you, the physical reality you, is hungry and wants to get some food from Jacob. And Jacob negotiates Esau's birthright for the food. And Esau goes, whatever, I despise it anyway. You know, I don't care. Here you go. I just want that food. This is us when we really need and want something in 3D reality. We're willing to sell our birthright. In other words, turn our back on that I amness, that conviction within that we're already that, as we desperately try to affirm it or imagine it or think better feeling thoughts, hoping to attract it. That's what that represents there, right? That's Esau selling his birthright for the food, for the temporary satisfaction of the 3D conditions, to satisfy that hunger, right? That importance, that I really need that now, right? So that's pretty big there. Remember, you play all the parts. You play Rebecca, Isaac, Esau, and Jacob. See the linked videos that I'm linking below unpacking this story the Neville Goddard way. It really unpacks it. If you watch all 4 videos, you really get an idea of the power of this story. But I want to look at it from this way. The birthright, the spiritual gift, your right as the Son of God, I am, versus the blessing. Your conscious power to claim it, to imagine it, to call it forth from the unseen to the seen. Right? The birthright is what Esau gave away for that food. The blessing is what Rebekah and Jacob tricked Isaac into giving to Jacob. Jacob disguised as Esau. They sent Esau hunting, just like you send the 3D reality packing, so you're not focused on it, right? And then of course Isaac says, "Come closer so I can feel you." Remember, you want to be close to that. That I am is so close that you are it. It doesn't get any closer than being that, right? And then he's tricked into giving the blessing to Jacob, right? But what is that blessing? That's you claiming it. Jacob, the whole representation of Jacob is you claiming it, you imagining, you calling it forth from the unseen to the seen by knowing that you already are it, by knowing that you already have the birthright. Remember, Jacob got the birthright. So you knowing that you already are the Son of God, you are I am. So when you do imagine, when you do affirm, it's coming from that conviction. It's coming from that knowing of your real identity, not from the lack of not having what you want or the feeling that you're not that, right? Please, and this is what it says when they tricked him, right? "Please come near that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not." Firstborn. Remember, firstborn has the birthright. You are that firstborn, Esau, represents your birth as a son of God into this physical time and space. Right? It's your first birth. The second birth is your blessing, your claiming of that power by imagining it, by claiming it by that birthright, not by lack, not by feeling that you don't have it, not by feeling that it's hard or the conditions are too big, right? The 3D veiling of linear temporary fulfillment versus your inner authority, your innate conviction, I am that. That's the difference, right? That 3D feeling. And remember, Isaac was said to be spiritually blind. So he was tricked into that because that's what happens when we follow the 3D reality, when we believe in our 3D senses. We get tricked. Right? And we get tricked into giving up our blessing. Do you see the other meaning here? Right? Wow. Isaac represents your spiritual blindness from not recognizing the kingdom is already yours, not recognizing it's already your birthright. You believe more in the solid 3D material reality than you do in that inner reality of that I am. Right? You rely on your 3D senses and your outer power, in that outer power and authority to bestow or claim your blessing. Right, in your spiritual inheritance. Isaac, remember, it said that Isaac was wealthy, but he was living in a tent. The significance of that is he was wealthy, but he wasn't claiming it. He was spiritually blind. That's why he favored Esau, the 3D reality, the material world. Right? Rebecca, on the other hand, his wife, is not spiritually blind. She understands her oneness. She understands the power of Jacob, right? That higher you, that I am. But even with that, This is another example of you. Remember, you're playing all the parts. You're also Rebecca at times. Even though you recognize your I am, right? Not like Isaac, who was spiritually blind to the birthright. Even when you recognize your birthright, right? You still believe you need to make something happen, right? You conjure a scheme to trick Isaac in bestowing his blessing and inheritance to Jacob. That's what happened in the story. You scheme on 3D reality, how you can make it happen faster, how you can affirm it, how you can force it, how you can manipulate it. Do you see it? So here, you're just blind to your I amness, to your birthright. But here you know your birthright. Yet you still manipulate 3D reality. You still worry about linear time. You still try to make things happen. That represents Rebecca and Jacob getting together to trick Isaac. Right? You try to manipulate 3D conditions. You try to feel better thoughts. You try to influence conditions to get a quick spiritual hit. And you do many times. Right? Recognizing that you do have that birthright, but still trying to make something happen, you do manifest things into your life by feeling better thoughts, by working deductive, by working your way up, right? Bottom up as opposed to top down. Right? You do manifest things, but then it's hot and cold, and then your specific person's here is not. You have money, then you don't have money. You go, what's going on? I just can't get consistent. It's because you're not holding that consciousness of being, right? You're trying to trick it. You're trying to scheme, right? So that's big. The inheritance that Esau has as firstborn, that birthright, firstborn birthright, share of the estate of the kingdom is yours by law or by the Lord, by the law of being, by the Lord, right? And it's said to be twice as much as Jacob's, meaning not only do you get the kingdom within, you get the kingdom without, right? You inherit both, you get twice as much. You have that spiritual inheritance, plus you have everything else that you want to experience in the horizontal experience of reality in the 3D world, right? Both inner and outer, wealth and abundance. You need to claim it. You need to claim that spiritual leadership, right? Like Rebecca, though, you don't trust God and the law or the Lord completely, right? You know it's yours, but you still are doubtful. Your I am and inner authority, higher self to fulfill your desires. You doubt it. So you try to force it, manipulate it, affirm and imagine from lack. And then you end up losing that which you desire. And you attract unwanted and undesired conditions. Remember, it's said that Jacob flees Esau's wrath. Esau was really mad at him, right? That he tricked, that the father gave him the blessing, gave Jacob the blessing. So Jacob takes off, but what does that mean? He leaves Rebecca. Rebecca loses what she had, what she wanted the whole time. That's you when you try to manipulate 3D reality. You have it, then you don't have it. It flees, right? That's pretty powerful. And Esau, like Isaac, is defined more by the physical manifested 3D world and senses and conditions, right? He was said to be the rough skin boy. Jacob, the smooth skin boy, right? Representing 3D reality. You want what you want right now, high importance. That's Esau. That's why he negotiated his birthright to Jacob, because he was hungry. He wanted to satisfy that hunger now. I want it now, I want it now, I want it now, right? And the future inheritance and the spiritual blessing means nothing to him, right? He even despised it, right? And when you're feeling lack in your pull of your immediate needs and wants, right? That rising in your imagination means nothing when you're feeling the pull of being, there's no, you're broke. Or you're SP and you are not getting along, you haven't seen them, right? Eventually what happens is Jacob does return and eventually reconciles with Esau. That represents you finally seeing that greater reality, right? You die to your old self. And Jacob, the supplanter, flees to the wilderness, abandoning everything, but then returns, right? Then returns and claims his inheritance and claims his right to everything that he wants, right? So there's a lot of representations here, and in the 4 videos, I uncover it the typical way that Neville Goddard talks about it, representing representing the imaginal act, how you imagine and rise in consciousness to the state of being. But this is more talking about this idea that you do play all 4 parts. You are Isaac, you are Rebecca, you are Esau, and you are Jacob. And that birthright is yours. But to get the blessing, right? To really exercise that I amness, to feel that conviction, you've got to claim it. You've got to assume it. You've got to rise in consciousness. That's really what we mean by affirming, feeling, and claiming your wish fulfilled. That's how you do it. One, recognize that birthright, that it's yours no matter what. You are the Son of the living God, right? You are Christ, the Son of the living God. Then when you affirm, then when you imagine your wish fulfilled, you're doing it from a place of love and fulfillment, not lack and separation, and not believing in that birthright. You're no longer negotiating your birthright away. You no longer have to trick, right, 3D reality into giving you the blessing. The blessing is yours. That's how you affirm, feel, and claim it. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for joining our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and for joining our membership channel, which I just released a big, powerful video a few days ago on that, maybe 2 days ago. There'll be more content coming on that channel, as well as a live stream coming very soon for the members. Thank you for being a member if you've already joined, and if you want to join, there's a link below. Guys, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin coming to you from Cape Town, South Africa, with Be Something Wonderful. Until next time.